Hey, what's up? This is my fifth vlog, and today I really want to talk about being safe and if you are going to do this, how to go about it in a way that won't harm you or your mind. Um, a lot of people will sell you fake DMT, and I wouldn't really trust anybody willing to sell DMT anyway. Uh, because they probably haven't done it themselves, and it's not really something you want passed through hands. I mean, it's such a fine crystal anyway. You really want to get it fresh. Like you want to make it because it's going to be its most potent fresh as well. Like it's really the best way to do DMT is to make it yourself. And it's not very hard to make either. People think it's really complicated or there's some horrible thing. Go over to Willie Myco, his channel. That's WILLYMYCO. He has a DMT extraction tech. There's a link in his bio to a file that has a perfect video on how to make it in a very good way. Follow exactly his directions and you'll be fine. Another little thing, look at the DMT Nexus. They have a health and safety page that is really extensive that you definitely should read. It's also just a cool website. They got art on there. Like, there's plenty of really interesting shit to read around in the forums, like weird psychedelic uh, news and interesting shit. So definitely check out that forum. And also, as a side note, don't be a stupid and use plastic in your extraction. In any don't put any of it in plastic. Don't do anything with the extraction in plastic because you will get the molecules that are trapped in the plastic in your DMT, and it will be very, very unpleasant for you to smoke. So mostly I'm not really going to talk about health and safety as far as how to extract your DMT and how to make clean and um, non-harmful DMT. You can look that up online and find those answers out yourself. But I'm more able to speak on the mental side of things. And a lot of people will tell you that DMT is risk-free. It is not risk-free in any means. There are a lot of risks involved, and I think the risks are if you're making it yourself. When are you using a non-food safe tech? If so, if you do it wrong, if you fuck it up, it's not just going to taste like a bad cookie. You're going to accidentally smoke lye and cough a fuck ton and hurt your lungs. Um, there's really bad possibilities in that era, so do your shit, do your homework. Um, and as far as the mind goes, the risks are really your mind. I think it is possible to smoke so much DMT that you have a bit of a psychotic break. You can definitely, and it's not necessarily one sitting, because one sitting of DMT is very preliminary. You can't really remember what happens to you. If you do remember, it can happen in one sitting, but usually it takes people, they get involved with it and they follow it. And eventually, at a certain point, your mind, it's just so confusing. It's so damn confusing because it's really just a portal in a sense. I always imagine, you I say DMT is real as somebody draws with their finger a door on the wall and it crystallizes and becomes a shape and then just goes inward, and there's a whole nother reality that you can just walk from this reality into that's way fucking trippy and super fucking animated and unreal, but just it's like you walk as yourself through a door and in the room, and you just are in another room that's completely fucking psychedelic and insane. And that experience of realness, of extra realness, of being so like weirded out, really, like being so fucking tripped out that you go to this, you can go to these places that blow your fucking mind literally, and it can feel like it holds the power of a fucking atom bomb when you come back, and you're just like, oh my god, like this is more powerful than the fucking nuclear weapons or anything that's ever been invented, because it's just so bizarre and insane. um, I think a good part of it is remembering that you still have to ground yourself. There still has to be a means by which you go back into a meditative way of being, because DMT sends you into a very not meditative way of being where you're having a lot of fucking thoughts. It can put you in a meditative place, but like I said, it's like different for everyone, and I'm just telling you like what it has done, and like what it can do to you um if you're not safe and cautious and aware of your own self. Yeah, so basically, a lot of the time, I feel as though whenever I've had these experiences that really shatter me and really take me to a place where I was not expecting to go, I had one particular experience that took me too far, and it was traumatic. In the DMT Nexus, Vovin has a thread called "Why You Should Not Do DMT," and I highly suggest you read it if you haven't already. And really, it's about like the fact that it can be traumatic. Like it can be a traumatic experience to be thrown out of your life and into death. Really, it feels so permanent when you go to that extra breakthrough, that further place where the time dissolves and infinity is present. And really, like a lot of my mind, where it went was like, it felt as though I had just cracked the code. I just, my entire life had been leading up to that moment, had been leading up to the moment of me figuring out how to make DMT, learning about it, researching it, and creating it. And that life was a puzzle, and that was the last puzzle piece that I just put in place, and I had died. And not even that I had died, just that I had progressed onto this next stage of my life, which was like the next room of the puzzle or another layer of complexity. And then even that, like, just that feeling of like forever. And I was like, damn, like I'm really here forever. And it's not linear necessarily, like the way you remember it isn't really linear, because it's, first of all, so fucking hard to remember. But so you get like fragments of it, but you don't really get back the whole actual memory of you going and being there, because it's just so damn different. I think when I came back from that particular trip of being there forever and that experience of really losing my shit, like being like not okay with how fucking insane it was, and coming back and being like, damn, I just died, had the experience of forever, saw the shit I wasn't really ready to see, and then came back and like at first I was like I felt like I was about to text my fucking teacher for help because I didn't know who to go to. Like I didn't know who to talk to about my sanity or what to do about the fact that I was like, when you come back you're like, nothing is real, like nothing seems real. Literally, like, I went over to my friend's house immediately and they were like smoking weed and shit and hanging out, and I was like telling them about it, and I was like, damn, like that shit was really traumatic. Like I don't know what to do with this shit. And my friend, her name's Jasmine, she looked over at me and she was like, she like winked at me, or she said like everything's gonna be fine, and she was like everything's gonna work out, and she like winked at me. And I swear to God, like that wink and that sentence straight up sounded like it was coming from the entities from my trip. And like then I just got this moment of, I think, true insanity where like everyone around me like was speaking from a hive mind and nothing was real. And that could go really bad. Like if you assume everyone has ill intent toward you, or you assume everyone's trying to get a one thing out of you. I think that paranoia and that non-groundedness really goes far, and it can take you to a place that's just unpleasant and bad. Regardless of how true or untrue it may be, it's just not a good place that it can lead you. And I think you need to be really careful about preserving yourself and your ability to stay grounded. Like hold on to the center, like find that place where it all makes sense because there are no questions, and keep to that place. I think like our sanity is key in how our lives work. And I think, even what I'm saying may sound insane to a lot of people, even what I'm saying like makes people uncomfortable, but truly everyone can experience this. Even without DMT, you can experience this. If anyone needs to talk to someone about it or wants to relate with the experience, please hit me up in the comments. People who have been hitting me up in the comments, like, thank you, and like having good discussion. Like this is like exactly why I wanted to do this. Like thank you. And yeah, make your own DMT and smoke it right.